somebody else were in the audience. And they said, there's a lot of people. I said, don't tell me, I don't want to know. And thank God I didn't know that. You know?
Have you ever forgotten your words?
Yes, and you thump until you find your way back, or make them up as you go along.
Yeah. Hopefully they come to you.
Oh, well, they do somehow. Some part of the nether regions of your brain kicks in.
We're talking about Eliza. I've got a great question here from Kevin. He's gone home, obviously. What does Miss Andrews think happened to Eliza after the show finished? Did she marry Higgins or run off with a chimney sweep named Bert?
Oh.
Or perhaps neither?
To be truthful, although Lerner and Lowe, the creators of My Fair Lady, stayed very, very true to Shaw's Pygmalion, they did change the ending that Eliza went back. But in Shaw's play, she goes off and she says, I'll marry Freddie, that's what I'll do. And he says, marry Freddie, ha! And, but you think she probably didn't marry Freddie, but probably did open a flower shop, which is what she wanted to do. But in the play, she does come back, in the musical.
You've worked with some amazing male singers. I know this is probably an impossible question to answer, but who's your favourite?
You mean...
Or people like Bing Crosby?
Oh, God, in amongst all of them?
Yeah.
Well, oh, my God. I worked with Andy Williams, who was wonderful, and Perry Como, and Bing Crosby, and so many. One of the singers that I worked with, which was phenomenal, was working with Placido Domingo, the great, great tenor. And I did a television special with him, and when he stood beside me and we sang a duet, I swear to God, the earth really shook with the timbre of his voice. It was awesome.
You mentioned Camelot earlier on. Of course, you were working then with the Welsh acting god, Richard Burton.
Richard, yeah, naughty boy.
You're amongst friends, so we won't tell anyone. Did you find him dishy?
Oh, yes.
Have a think about it.
I didn't have to think about it. Everybody found him dishy. I mean, man, woman, child, dogs, animals, everybody. The minute he walked into a room, all attention somehow swiveled his way. He was pretty naughty. He thank God, had probably flirted and hit on several ladies in our company of Camelot before he turned to me, and by that time I was onto him, so I was okay.
You should rephrase that, I think.
Sorry. Oh, I see your point. Sorry, Alan. Yeah. Oh, yes. You, naughty boy.
Sorry. It takes one to know one. He was known for his partying as well, wasn't he?
Oh yes, he always had many people in the dressing room, and some nights he would drink a lot. He really drank a lot. One night he drank from Thursday night after the show, all day Friday, went through the show, got through it, all day, all night Friday he drank, real binge, came in and did the matinee the next day, and by the evening show on Saturday night, he was so drunk. But that devil was such a good actor, he turned it to his advantage. And when Arthur raised the sword and his leg practically gave away, he was the weariest King Arthur you ever saw. And I thought, well, you devil. I mean, it's just amazing what he got away with. He was that good.
He was that good.
Oh, yeah.
Andy in Birmingham. I understand that Carol Burnett, you and her are close friends.
Yeah, I'm not sure. How many people do you all know who sweet Carol Burnett is? She's the lady.
Yeah.
I think they do.
Yeah, she's a huge comedian in the States. She had a show on television for 11 years, and she's just known for Broadway and films and God knows what. And she's one of my greatest girlfriends, and she's my Emma's godmother also.
All right, because 1962 was a big year. That was the birth of Emma, wasn't it?
Yes, and she's the first person I told.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I did. Carol was the first chum I told that I was pregnant.
How did that change your life? Because you were a jobbing actress, singer, and all of a sudden a mother as well, trying to combine everything.
Yeah, well, as any woman who adores her kids, which I'm sure you all do if you've got them, although they can be a plague in their teens and so on, but it's a miracle. It's the only miracle, I think, that we as women get to really witness in life, really witness a miracle of birth. And I think some vast dam or well of emotion just opens up. What about being a dad? Does that do it for you?
I was going to say I was there at the birth, but I didn't have a similar experience.
Did you faint?
I didn't faint, but I didn't want to cut the umbilical cord.
Really?
No, that's just going too far. It was when the nurse said, do you want to cut the umbilical cord? I felt like saying, well, do you want to do a concert for me at the Royal Albert Hall?
How many kids do you have?
I've got two.
Oh.
A 12-year-old and a 9-year-old.
Yes, and you sing so beautifully.
Oh, bless your heart.
You do, and he's been singing. You were a child performer, as I was.
I was, yeah.
When did you start?
I started the same age as you, 12.
Really?
Yeah, but my voice broke, but I'm not bitter about it.
Well, the lady's voice doesn't break exactly, although it went through all kinds of gear changes.
But yours was massively strong from such a young age. That's
Only
why I
high and a sort of white sound, but eventually it got warmer as it kind of became what it was meant to be.
I've got a question here from Fred, and this is something I really want to know as well. Have you ever had any weird experiences with overzealous fans?
Oh my God, yeah, I have.
Never.
Yes, oh God, I gotta think of one at least. Yeah, sorry. When I go shopping sometimes, especially when the very big movies were very famous, I would take my little girl shopping because, she needed school clothes, she needed all kinds of bits and pieces and so on. So I'd take my lovely little Emma and I'd go into Saks Fifth Avenue or wherever it was in Los Angeles. And there's a thing, you probably know it. When somebody's following you, and that happens quite a bit, you get something on the back of your neck gets a bit tingly, and you think, hello, I think something's going on back there, and I'm being followed. So I took my little girl into the ladies' room, and I thought, well, while I'm here, I might as well use it. And so it was one of those ladies' rooms that had a kind of stable door with a gap underneath, And I saw a pair of legs stop at my door and a knock on the door while I was sitting on the John and on Blue, and this voice said, "Excuse me, but are you Mary Poppins?" Now what do you say?
What did you say?
I said something obscene, like, well, from the waist up I am. Something like that.
Brilliant. You were talking about Walt Disney during the first half. He liked your whistle.
Yes, well, he discovered I could whistle, which I could do from a kid.
And Dodo, who's in the audience, says, do you still whistle? And if you do, what?
I whistle when I'm nervous. So if you find me, backstage whistling a lot, although it's supposed to be bad luck, I do whistle a lot. And there's a great story. I keep stopping all the action here. I was standing making a television movie of Cinderella. Live performance went out to a huge audience one night.
107 million.
Something like that, yeah. And some good soul told me that more people would see the show that night on television than if I played in My Fair Lady for 15 years to packed houses. And it's not what I wanted to hear just before going on camera. But I was standing rehearsing that and standing in the wings, and I was nervous, and I began whistling a song called The Last Time I Saw Paris, which I don't suppose many of you know, but the last time I saw Paris, its heart was warm and gay, and a voice behind me said, I really meant the words of that song when I wrote it, and it was Oscar Hammerstein. And he and Richard Rogers wrote Cinderella for me, and I turned around and said, oh, Mr. Hammerstein, I had no idea that was your song. And he said, I went back to Paris after the war. I had to write that song. Excuse me.
You talk about the Cinderella. Did you know that? Well, you must have. But the New York Times actually wrote about it and said that you were the best reason to go out and buy a colour television.
Oh, no, I don't know that. I never knew that.
That's what they wrote in the paper.
Well, who is that man and where is he today?
Well, as if by magic, Julie, he's been living in Birmingham for the last 20 years. So many people have got so many questions for Mary Poppins. You've obviously seen it. It's a great film.